Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Something a bit different today. I brought you on a little trip down to my kitchen, mainly because it's the clearest bench I have, and also happens to sit right in front of a heater. So yeah, these are a couple of relatively cheap silicone mats that I picked up in the pet section of Kmart in Australia. They're quite large, as you can see, and I'm going to make some of the lovely Bonny's kooky paper today. I just felt like it, so thought I'd come along and show you what I do. My strips are quite a bit wider than hers, so it takes me less time, thankfully. But yeah, we'll make some and I'll come back after it's dry and show you the finished product. So let's get on with it. This here is a jar full of PVA and water in equal parts, and just a house painting brush, nice and simple. Paper strips and either some napkins or some tissue paper, whatever you've got on hand, and whatever you choose to use. Right, I'm back, and this should hopefully be a little bit more steady for you. Let me see if I can zoom you out. Zoom you out. It's zoomed out as we can get you. Okay. All right, I start by putting some glue down. It's probably just out of shot, but it will work its way into shot. So the reason I like to do it in front of my heater is it takes a long time to dry. We are really wetting some paper here, so it's going to take some time to dry. Now I use any kind of paper. If you wanted to use this as, you know, a page in your journal for writing, you might want to stick to, you know, paper that has this writing on it. I just use any paper scraps I have. So I do often pop some white acrylic paint on the back of this. You could use gesso, same thing. It's just I have a lot of white acrylic paint, so I just use that. Sometimes if my strips are too big, I will tear them, just to give us a bit of variety, a bit of something interesting to look at as you're going down. More glue. I sort of do it in sections because I don't want the glue to dry out in between me popping the paper down. The reason I put glue down first is so I don't have to work so hard to get it to soak through the paper. Once I've decided that that's enough. A bit of a gap there, I'll just pop that on top. It'll probably wander off by itself, but we'll glue it down in a bit. Right, there's our first layer of paper. Well, our only layer of paper, the way I do it, but you could, like I say, do more than one layer. Now I will paint over it again with my PVA water mix. Make sure everything is stuck to everything. Just be a bit gentle with pieces that aren't fully sort of stuck down, because they may move on you. You can easily pick them up and move them back, but it just depends how much you like putting your hands in PVA and water. Okay, so there we have that. Now I have some pattern paper here. I might use that this time around. It's in little pieces, as pattern paper often is, so I'm just going to pop it on where it fits, and then I'll just glue it all down. Right, there we have it. Now I will put yet another layer of glue down. The advantage of using pattern paper or tissue paper or whatever over using napkin is that it's much sturdier. I can really, slap the glue on here and not worry about tearing it. I mean, I guess you could tear it if you were really heavy-handed, but I'm not being gentle. I am just plonking it on, making sure everything is well soaked with glue and water, and then it's just a case of letting the whole kit and caboodle get dry, which does take some hours, I must admit. I usually leave it overnight, then it's properly dry. If you try to peel it off the silicone mat before it's dry, it does sometimes tear on the back. You leave parts of the page behind, so I prefer to let it dry thoroughly. And so I mean, I'm doing this sort of mid-morning, I guess, so I may be able to peel this one off this evening and make another one for overnight. I'll just see how it goes, because it's not that warm here today. I will turn the heater on. So righto, one down. Move this piece of tissue out of my way, and we'll do another one over here. So yeah, it's not exactly a complicated process. It's quite a relaxing process, to be honest. I buy my PVA glue from just a hardware store, Bunnings, of course, in Australia. I buy it by the, 2 litre bottle or something. How much is in there? Let me see. Can't see. It's at the wrong angle for me. 4 litres. 4 litre bottle, huge bottle. And just pour it into my little jar and mix it there. So I go through a fair bit of PVA, so it's never wasted. I haven't yet had a bottle of glue dry up on me, let's put it that way. But you do use a lot. I mean, these 2 pages will use, this jar, which is half PVA. So it's quite heavy on PVA usage, so you do use quite a bit, so I think it's worth buying in the larger quantities because it's cheaper that way. Okie dokie. Well, that used virtually no paper out of that bag at all. I'd love to tell you that this will use up all your scraps instantly. Nope. I don't know how it is that scraps don't disappear. Doesn't matter how many you use, even if you don't generate more, there always seems to be way too many scraps. Now this is wash and gone. It's tissue paper that is on that embroidery sort of plasticky stuff. I don't know if you've seen it. You can embroider on it and then you put it in a sink full of water and it melts, dissolves. So I still have some, I'm sure, quite a bit of this, and I kept all the tissue because of course I did. So I have a fair bit of it. I am actually coming to the end of it now, which is nice. I'll have to go buy some more, hey? So yeah, and I kind of like the way it looks. It looks a little bit from a distance like an old stamp catalogue actually. So yeah, I kind of enjoy the look of it. So I've been using that as well. So yeah, there is plenty of resources out there if you go looking for them, or keep them if you have them. Yeah, when you buy this over the counter at Spotlight, of course, yeah, it comes with all this tissue between it because it's water soluble. So I guess they put the tissue between it so it doesn't stick to itself. But then you end up with reams and reams of this tissue paper, which has no real purpose, and I didn't want to throw in the bin. So, and eventually I have found purpose to it. So. I'm pleased that I kept it. Alright guys, that's it. That's the job lot of what I'm going to do right here, right now. I will show you the finished product. Bear with me a second, I'll sort of shove these out of the way a bit. It's great to have it on the silicone mat too because you can just move them. Yeah, I try not to move them too much obviously, but you can just move them. Right, the ones I did last night are just here, and you can see that one was made with the wash and gone paper, tissue. On the back it looks like this. It's a tiny bit shiny in spots, but yeah, that's pretty nice. I will probably give this a coat of acrylic paint that will take care of any of these little daggy bits that somehow managed to stay up. I think that's the only one though, I'm not feeling anything else. So yeah, that's how it ends up. There's that one, as I say, on the printed tissue from the wash and gone, and then there's this one which was also done with pattern paper. So yeah, quick tip with the pattern paper, I did it with this one but I forgot on that one I just did. I usually paint over the, I usually put the tissue paper upside down because sometimes some of the patterns, the print will run. If you run your brush over it too many times. You can see here, it's just in this little section, you can see the print has run a bit. So that doesn't happen if you put them upside down. So yeah, just something to keep in mind if you care about that. I don't really care about it, but I do tend to just put it upside down because I know it happens. So if I forget, I really don't care. And that's the other side of that nice piece. It feels nice. It's very, very smooth, which surprises me. This one's got a bit of thread on it. But yeah, it surprised me how smooth it feels. It feels like one sheet of paper. So this one does not have any little daggy bits at all. But I will still probably put a bit of acrylic paint on it. I just use a card and scrape it on because I'm not looking to, you know, paint it so you can't see it. I'm just looking to sort of dull it down a bit. So if you do want to use it as a card or whatever else, you can write on it. And yeah, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too dull. Yeah, like I say, if I'm using napkins, I make smaller ones, but I fancied making big ones anyway. So, and yeah, you can see it's quite flexible. It's quite a thin paper. If I were to use it for a journal cover, I may consider doing 2 layers of paper, or backing this one with maybe fabric before I made a journal cover out of it. So, up to you guys. I hope you give it a go. Let me know if you do. Let me know if you like it. And yeah, I'll see you again another time. Thanks for coming. Bye.